when you spend on what you don't need, you will eventually have to sell what you need. That's not American dream right there.
Today we have Mr. Ibrahim Ayoide, a founder and CEO of FinServePro. You have over 20 years of leadership, an award winner, a scholar, an author, a board member. You're doing so many great things.
We come to this part of the world and buy a car on a lease, get a house, and then you have a 9 to 5 and that's it. If that's why you came here, I think you are making a great mistake.
So do you think everyone can be an entrepreneur?
Everybody can.
Okay.
Yeah. The world is too big and too vast for you not to be able to identify a problem, to be honest.
You believe the average person that does not have any mental, physical issue can be an entrepreneur? I mean, even with physical, can still be an entrepreneur?
Oh, yeah, because I say this all the time, right?
Yeah.
As you sit, you have your own peculiar
problem that I have to solve.
That you have, right?
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, you can't solve your own problem. Is why you have it as a problem.
Well, you find a problem, you fix it, then you scale people to solve the same problem yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, when I say succeed, I mean simply you building wealth in a way that your children now, your grandchildren, don't have to struggle.
That's really good.
Investment is very key element in building wealth.
Hi guys, I'm so happy to announce that we are at our 1,000 subscriber mark. Yay! And we're so happy that you have been supporting our page. I am truly honored that you consistently watch our videos and subscribe and turn on your notification bell. It really makes a difference. I hope that you can continue to do so. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and just be sure to leave a comment. It helps us. It really helps me know exactly what you like, and it helps me go further, get more guests, and just keep soaring to bring you guys amazing content and authentic experiences. Thank you and enjoy your episode. It's so nice to have you today, Mr. Ibrahim.
Thank you. It's nice meeting you. And,
it's nice.
Thank you for having me.
It's nice meeting you too. So today we're going to learn a little bit about his background, what is it that he does, and hopefully someone can learn something new. So, what is it that you do, and why is it important?
Yeah, so to put it in a very simple context, I would say I'm a financial expert that strive every day to just take away that complexity, because a lot of us feel that finance is complex, and I would say yes, it is, but it should not be complicated, right? Let's keep it complex. And that's why you would always need the help of an expert. So to put it in a very simple terms, I try to run your numbers with you in a way for you to understand that numbers have impact. If you don't, just put them together. If you don't arrange your numbers very well, you could go down easily. And I try as an expert, to help individuals, families, and businesses help understand the numbers behind what they do. When you wake up every day and you choose to either stay home or go out, they have financial implications. And I try to make you understand that and see that you succeed, understanding your numbers. That's the simplest way.
Just understanding your numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And does any of that involve growing wealth?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I know we are going to go into advanced conversations.
Definitely.
Yeah. And, when I say succeed, I mean simply you building wealth in a way that those who are coming after you, and I mean your children now, your grandchildren, have no problem with employability. If you would agree with me, employability is a problem now. Government is struggling with providing so many solutions, and one of that is employment. And we try to help, families, businesses in a way to grow wealth. So, their children and children's children, don't have to struggle, with what we struggle with, for example. And if you would agree with me, wealth building takes beyond a generation. What my parents struggled with, I don't have to struggle if they did the right thing.
Yes.
And I mean, they did by ensuring that I, did go to school, right? So that's, the best that they could do. I now have to take that, as a bad thing and hand it over to my own children with better skills, and build wealth in a way that they don't have to struggle with some of the things that, I struggle with now.
That you did. Okay. So apart from everything I listed at the beginning, this is a chance for you to kind of blow your horn a little bit, talk about FinServe if possible. But why should people listen to your advice, your financial advice?
That is a very good question. There is a gap that I identified as a financial expert, coming to this part of the world, especially within our immigrant community. And the gap I see is we don't truly understand what the American dream is about when it comes to wealth building. We come to this part of the world and we feel, we are just here, to just get by. You are able to buy a car on a lease, you're able to get a house,
on a mortgage.
A mortgage, and then you have a 9 to 5 and that's it, right? That's not American dream right there. If that's why you came here, I think you are making a great mistake, right? And what I do is to let you see that and understand that there are bigger goals. Like what I say to my client, there are what is obtainable in America, and we have what is achievable. A lot of us, we stick with what is obtainable. What are those things we can obtain? For example, a driver's license is not an achievement in America. That's something anybody can obtain, right?
Yeah.
There are several things that you can achieve, like what we are doing with FinServePro, for example. That's a great achievement. We helping families, helping businesses, helping individuals, just move away from that maze of not understanding why they are here, right? So, someone said, I see FinServe as, a cancer doctor, yeah.
Okay.
Ike, if you're listening, I just, and that, I love what you do. And, if you really want to understand what the American dream is about when it comes to wealth building, then you have to listen to me. Because it took me less than 3 years, having been an accountant in Nigeria, to see that there is a big gap in how we think financially in this part of the world.
Okay.
Right? And the time has come and gone that we stick to that, what I call economic escapist, right? Like we left Nigeria, we left Cameroon, we left wherever, on this escape mode, right? I get it. But you have to do away with that mentality and tell yourself that now I'm in the United States, I can achieve something for myself. I can achieve something for my family. I can achieve, building wealth in a way that my generations don't have to go through what, you are going through right now. And if you need to understand the financial dynamics in building your wealth, then you have to speak to any of our professionals in FinServePro. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I understand a little bit of what you're saying. It's more so about building wealth and not just surviving on a day-to-day.
Yeah.
More so having more than just $30,000 in your savings account, right? Having rainy day funds and generational wealth. So walk me through real quickly. Let's say, and this is going to be a lot more technical, just say I'm an average person. I do a 9 to 5. Let's say I make 25 every 2 weeks. That's like 5,000 a month. And how can FinServe help me as an individual?
Perfect. Yeah. So if you understand our model, which is taking you from survival to legacy.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you earn $2,500 every 2 weeks, that's $5,000 a month.
Yes.
Right? Now, if that's on a W-2 employment, for example, a 9 to 5, the first thing we want to help you do is how can you defer to a maximum level what you earn in a way that you don't pay taxes on that now, right? Because you have to understand that your tax bill is one of, the largest of the bills you have to pay, especially as a 9 to 5. So we would help you understand that there's a difference between spending, savings, and investment.
Okay.
Right? Now, we will walk you through a way to see how you can defer to the highest possible of your income to not be exposed to taxes. Now, that's one. Now, the other thing is, on your 9 to 5, what you're doing right now with your $5,000 every month.
Yes.
What idea do you have, that can increase your capacity in a way to take you from that 9 to 5? Because don't forget, the 9 to 5 or anywhere you get in that $5,000, the employer could lose that business tomorrow, right? The employer could have any reason to tell you, you know what, I think we're done with you, right? You can leave now. So while you are on that job, one of the things we would sit down and have as a conversation with you is what can you take from your experience in this place to start something for yourself. That way, we bring the idea of you being what we call a sidepreneur. Business development is one of our ancillary services. And every day we talk to our client, look, yes, you have a job, but just think that aside from you maximizing and, utilizing tax strategies to save from what you have right now on a 9 to 5, what is that thing you think you can start for yourself? I mean, I don't need to tell someone like you, this is something you're doing and that you love to do. But I can tell this is not your 9 to 5, right? This is not what you do. This is not your primary source of income.
Right.
But if you grow this, right, it can take you away from what is your primary source of income, and then you become an employer yourself.
Okay, so I have so many questions.
Yeah.
Let's go, but let's backtrack a little bit. So you mentioned that the first step for a standard average person will be to look at how much they're paying in taxes, I guess every 2 weeks, right? And instead of them paying that taxes every 2 weeks, you would defer. That does not mean you're not going to pay taxes.
You will.
They're still going to pay taxes, so we're not talking about tax evasion. But you're deferring the amount that they pay on taxes, the highest possible amount that you can defer.
Exactly.
To then invest it?
Yeah, so like a 401k, for example.
Okay.
So we 401k allow for you to max, part of your income and defer that income, to exposure to taxes in the future, right? And whatever you put in your 401k is an investment. right? So give you an example, right? Let's like the $5,000 you gave me right
Yes.
now. Now, if every year you are allowed to max 7,500 to your 401k, that's an investment, right? It means that 7,500 is not exposed to taxes this year, but whenever you take it out.
Okay.
But before you take it out, it's already sitting in an investment that you would earn little or no interest on, right? So that is tax strategist to take some of your income, right, that could be exposed to taxes now and defer it into the future. And the good thing about your 401k, if you have an investment idea, you can go to your 401k and borrow from it to do whatever you want to do. Unfortunately, you might not have to pay
the taxes at the time when you
because
borrow.
that is early withdrawal. Yeah.
But then at least, I guess the benefit here is that the 401k would be accruing interest.
Exactly.
So putting money in your 401k is one thing, but I also know that you have to invest the money that you put in your 401k.
Exactly, yeah.
Because if you just leave it in the 401k, yes, you're going to probably make some interest, but it will not be that relative. So then I guess you guys are helping to just strategize the person to place themselves in a way that they could are saving money,
Exactly.
and that will have to pay the taxes later on.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully
Not now.
the interest that you make helps to subsidize for some of those taxes that you have to pay.
Exactly.
Okay, wonderful. Wow. Oh, that's nice. That's really good. Okay, and in terms of like with an entrepreneur, where you mentioned a sidepreneur, a lot of people that work right now, they're pretty tired or pretty burnt out. So what if someone is like, I don't know what else I can do. This is I just came here. This is what I don't know what else I can do. Do you have a career path for them necessarily for them to be an entrepreneur, a sidepreneur, as you mentioned?
Yeah.
Or do you just like, do they have to figure out something, or it's like, okay, well, I guess you just have to continue working until you get something?
Yeah, so FinServePro, we are not, into helping you develop a career.
Okay.
We don't do that. We are a financial services company. But I can tell you that we have so many partners, that Nigerian Center is one,
Okay.
right? Yeah, that have professionals that can sit down with you and, just hear you out, and, they brainstorm with you, and that way they can help you come up with one idea or two. Because I strongly feel that there is no one out there who is void of ideas. The problem could just be the environment.
So do you think everyone can be an entrepreneur?
Everybody can.
You truly believe that?
Yeah, because the thing is, the world is too big and too vast for you not to be able to identify a problem. Yeah, I mean, if we are being realistic,
Yes.
right? People have, mental issues, health issues, right? But to be honest,
You believe the average person that does not have any mental, physical issue can be an entrepreneur? I mean, even with physical, can still be an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah, because I say this all the time, right?
Yeah.
The number of people we have in the world is the number of problems we have in the world. As you sit, you have your own peculiar
Problem that I have to solve.
that you have, right?
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, you can't solve your own problem. Is why you have it as a problem. So all I need to do is to sit down and study Razor. What is the problem that that I can see she's struggling with, that she is willing to part with the income that is not even enough just to help her solve the problem? It's as simple as that, right? And then you create a structure. The moment you see that problem can be solved, and then you can scale to several racers in terms of the problem we're talking about, you create a structure.
Where you find a problem, you fix it, then you scale people to solve the same problem yourself.
Exactly.
Okay. But I do feel like, okay, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I am too. And I think the sacrifices that it takes, because there's levels to entrepreneurship. You can be a sole proprietor, you have your small business, a mom and pop shop. You could be somewhat of a medium size, and then there's you could be large, and then you can be a corporation. I know you told me you want to go public.
Yeah.
So do you think the entrepreneurship is at a level? Because I think at your level, you're aiming to go public, which means you're within a medium-sized to large business.
Exactly.
So running a business operation of that size with the dream of going public, with the vision that you have, do you think every single person can make the sacrifices that you make to achieve that?
The answer
because it's not for the faint of heart.
Weak. Yeah. So
and sometimes I'm I love being an entrepreneur, but I'm the sacrifices and the work and the time and just the energy that you have to put in. I don't know if everyone has it in them, and I'm not to say that they're weak or nothing like that, but there's some people that when you meet them, they just don't have it. They just want to do their 9 to 5. They want to be they just want to be.
So, there are levels to how hungry,
Okay.
Right? And I would use a very recent experience as an example. What happened to get to where we are right now? Some will say, you know what, Racer?
Let's just reschedule.
Let's call it a day.
Yeah.
Right? And that is a quality you have to fight. You must create an habit to succeed. Habit to say, you know what, I am not going home until I get the work done. Right? Just have that, right, as a basis for whatever you want to do. Right? And before you know it, it increases your hunger, because trust me, the problems we have in the world is so enormous.
Yeah.
And God would not come now to fix them, right? And that's how you can build wealth, because the way I see wealth building is you seeing a problem, solving the problem, scaling the solution, and go to sleep. And you know what? Because the solution is out there and you don't have to be part of the process to make it happen for everybody now, people now pay you
for the service.
I mean, I look at it from even the medications that we take. Do you know that you having headache and knowing that there's a medication you can take to feel good, you are paying someone who sacrificed several hours in a lab to get that done.
Yeah.
Right? And, as a financial expert, that's also what we are trying to do, to say, you know what? We have identified a gap that has been in existence before we came into, the game.
Okay.
And we want to provide solution that we can scale and that can be readily available in any part of the country, regardless of me being part of the process or not.
So that's what FinServe does.
That's so.
In a nutshell, or is there more that you haven't touched on?
So we are a financial service company promoting financial inclusion for everybody, and we have 4 major services: accounting services, tax services, insurance, and loans. So if you have a business, one of the problems we've seen with small business owners in America, especially business owners in our community, is we don't see the need to have proper bookkeeping, proper records, for our businesses. A lot of the times what we see is individuals, business owners, commingling business transactions with personal transactions. I still have clients I have to speak to every day. No one should pay when you requested, for invoice, right? if payment is going to you, it should not go to your personal account. Payment should go into your business account. But every day we still see individuals, when you ask them, where do you want me to pay this money? They give you their personal number.
Yeah.
That should not be happening, right? If you have a business, you must know how much you pay in rent. I mean, if you ask an average small business owner, how much do you think your business earned or generated in the month of January, for example? They don't have a system. They can just open their computer, and in less than 5 minutes, they can just press a button and pull a report.
Do you guys generate that system for businesses?
So
you have a system that generates that for businesses?
So we encourage, our small business owners to use QuickBooks, which is the most friendly. We have other accounting systems, Sage Intact. We have even now with Square can give, but we encourage our small business owners to go with Quick because that's the most friendly that we use. Now we help with individuals and business taxes. This is tax season, for example. If you want to file your taxes, you need a professional. And I say this to everyone, and please listen to me. I've said this over and over again. You don't need a nice tax preparer. You need a kind and professional tax preparer. A nice professional would want to get you the highest possible, regardless of you qualifying for it or not. A nice tax preparer would not want you to leave money on the table, not minding if that's your money or not, because we say we would not leave your own money on the table. We have monies on the table. I mean, we could have money. It could belong to you. It could belong to me. There's no reason why I should take your money with mine, right? Now, a nice tax preparer wouldn't care, just file you anyhow, file your taxes anyhow, just to get you the highest possible. But trust me, when you are being audited, you don't find this nice tax preparer when you call them to help you with audit.
Yeah.
You need a professional who is kind, that is able to tell you this is what you qualify and is eligible to get. These are the credits that you can get. These are the deductions that you can claim. Now we have life insurance and property insurance. Now life insurance is not a luxury. Anybody in the United States, anyone and everyone must have life insurance, regardless of you being a 9-to-5 or you have your own business. You must have life insurance. And these days I tell small business owners, there's a way you can get your life insurance that can help you see that whatever you pay in premium on your life insurance is a business expense. Now, if you want to buy a home, we can also help you with that mortgage loan. If you want to scale a business and then you need,
you guys offer loans?
We offer
directly?
Not directly. We have institutions that we work with. Yeah.
That you help people qualify for the loans.
We take your applications and then we take your applications to these various financial institutions to see whoever is going to help you, with the loan that you need. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's say I read this book called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Hustle, and pretty much pretty much the knowledge that I got from there, he was like, don't ever get comfortable. Like your psychology don't ever feel like you have enough, because there's always a possibility for you to lose what you have, right? Like the market could crash. You can plan for what you plan for, but then there's always unforeseeable circumstances. With that in mind, right? And as we are kind of wrapping this up too, if someone today watching this episode is to make one financial change that could potentially change their life, what would be your advice, and what would that change be? Just one thing.
Yeah, one thing is to continue to invest. Investment is very is a very key element, in building wealth. And what I mean by that is the income you make right now, like I said, can go away anytime.
Yeah.
Right? And if there's anything you want to do with the fixed income, because income, no matter how, no matter the source, right, is fixed, right? There is always that X amount of income that you make. And if there's anything you should, do with the income you have right now, you want to think about how can I invest as much as I can, meaning spending. You must manage your spending, because when you spend on what you don't need, you will eventually have to sell, what you need to stay up. So if I'm going to advise anyone right now, a financial advice to anyone right now, there is always room for you to invest no matter how little, you make.
How much is so I want to get a number figure. How much is the minimum amount that they should try to invest, which is definitely possible every day, to say every day keep this amount of money for an investment in order for them to see a difference?
I would go with percentage.
Okay.
Right. And if you can invest 30% of your income every month, you are doing great. Yeah.
Last question, really brief answer, because I really wanted this question for me, but not for me, for you guys. But you are on track record of having your business go public, which is a pretty big endeavor. I mean, when you said that, I was like, well, okay. I mean, I see the vision and I love it and I love the drive. But for business owners out there, let's say medium to large businesses, how do they position themselves to grow long term?
Yeah.
You kind of touched on that a little bit with like the accounting part of it. But what else is there that you think they could do?
I mean, basically, if you want to grow a business, right, you must have what I call a process. A process that allows for efficiency. Efficiency is to see that, you are able to, have profit, right? When you start a business, right, no matter what, your expenses would always outweigh, the income in the short term. But in the long term, you want to see how you can, just adopt, systems, allow for systems that you don't have to be involved for the system to operate, right? You have a system that allows for efficiencies, and with that, you can cut on your expenses, and with that, you can have profit from which you can take to now invest in the business. And the good thing about the tax system in this country and in most countries, right, is that investment is not taxable, right? But what I see a lot of us do is we start making profit, and from the profit, we start spending, right? That way, you will be taxed, and then before you know it, the business would have no liquidity to pursue, investment that could scale the company, and, that could in turn, just attract investors, and then, you grow. Yeah, because the thing is, you have what it takes to grow a business from within, but you don't have what it takes to, just put the business out there. You definitely need investors. And how do you do that? You take from the profit that you're making, keep investing in the business, grow as much as you can to attract investors, and that can help you, get out.
By what year should you quit the business if you're not able to break even and make profit?
Oh, wow.
Year 2, 3, just a year. 'Cause,
I mean, that's a very, very technical question, because I don't believe in quitting, right? There are 1,001, entrepreneurs right out there that did not quit. They continued for years, knowing very well that the business can do well. So I would never, as long as, in fact, this is what I say, as long as calls are coming in, you are getting new clients, right? Stay in that business. Yeah, you never can tell when that break would come.
Well, thank you. So, this was a really great conversation. I really appreciate you coming out. How do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so my name is Ayoide Ibrahim, and yeah, I am the head of operations. I mean, people would say CEO of FinServePro, and yeah, FinServePro, like I said, is a financial services company promoting financial inclusion. Yeah, and if you want to reach us, our number is 240-714-8958. And yes, you can, check us up out on all social media platforms, simply at FinServePro.
I would definitely leave his information in the description below. And thank you for watching. I hope you learned one thing. And what I learned was that with your $5,000 paycheck, you're able to defer your taxes and invest them.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see you next time.
Thank you.